Activision has been bought.
They have been. So there's a lot here to talk about. And I don't really know where you want to start other than that is that Xbox has acquired Activision Blizzard King. I don't know if that's actually the proper title or not. For $70 billion. So this took the gaming world by storm this morning, and there's a lot to talk about with this, and I don't know where I want to start.
There's a lot.
Obviously, Activision has had all of their issues, right? With Kotick and all of the internal kind of, I don't know, work environment stuff, whatever you want to call it, however you want to classify it. That's been really, really bad. So maybe we start there, right? Why is Xbox purchasing Activision Blizzard King?
Why not? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I mean, they have a lot of IPs. So I have a list here of every IP that they own.
Name the big hitters.
So Blur, which we haven't seen in a while, but
that's a big hitter. I did not expect you to say Blur.
I'm going in order here. I'm going alphabetically. I just forgot about it.
Wow.
Call of Duty, Candy Crush, which is from King, Crash Bandicoot, dude, Diablo, all of the Hero games, so DJ Hero, Guitar Hero, all that stuff.
I didn't even think about that.
Geometry Wars, which I didn't even fucking know. Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, King's Quest, Overwatch, Pitfall, Pitfall.
Not Pitfall.
Prototype, Skylanders.
Prototype. They should reboot.
God, Spyro, StarCraft, Tony Hawk, World of Warcraft, and of course, who could forget Zork?
Wait, do they own the Atari licenses?
I don't know.
Pitfall.
I guess so. Yeah, Activision bought Atari like a long time ago, didn't they?
Yeah. Wow.
So there's that. That they would want that and to add their catalog, not just a game. Well, I think actually probably exclusively to pad out a Game Pass as a subscription service and offering.
Ant in the chat says Bill Gates found that $70 billion in his extra change holder in his car.
Yeah. I think it really puts it into perspective though how deep Microsoft's pockets are, and the whole argument of like Xbox versus PlayStation. It's not really a fair assessment, right? PlayStation does not nearly have the amount of cash on hand to go out and do these things like Xbox does, because Xbox is floated and can be floated by Microsoft, which is huge.
Meanwhile, there's rumors that Sony is going to be acquired by Apple, which is just...
No way. That ain't happening. So, I mean, yeah, it's massive for the IP alone, right? And padding out Game Pass, which I think is obvious. What I think is maybe less obvious is why would they do it now, right? When Activision is going through all this stuff. And I have a couple of informed maybe ideas about why that is.
I have a few too.
Activision's stock tanked during this whole debacle, right? So maybe that's why. Maybe now it's financially viable for them to acquire. I mean, $70 billion is the largest deal in gaming history. We thought Bethesda was huge. Fucking nothing compared to this. Literally, this is 7 times the amount of the Bethesda deal. Like, come on, dude. Not 7 times, 70 times the Bethesda deal. Let's get that clear. So it is... No, I was right. 7... Whatever. Fucking a lot more.
Billions of dollars more.
Quite literally billions of dollars more. The other thing of it, too, is I think about the social clout that they could get from doing this, where you now have Phil Spencer, who will eventually be directly in charge of this. And we know, I think it was Bloomberg. I have so many things open up here. I think of Bloomberg, said that Kotick is going to remain on to see, oversee until the deal is kind of inked, right? Which is a whole other thing that we can talk about. But that once that deal is done, Kotick might be gone, and Phil Spencer
Might be.
might be, yeah, and Phil Spencer and Xbox can get the kind of clout of overhauling and making, working for Activision, Blizzard, King, whatever, actually, equitable, So, what are your thoughts on
Yeah.
that?
So why now? So a couple of things come to mind. Number one is all the things that you just said. So thank you. But number two is we know that PlayStation is about to unveil a new service that is similar to Game Pass. We know that they are pulling PlayStation Now cards off the market in the UK already, indicating like they're about to PS Now is about to be gone. Okay. And they're going to have to probably convert any PlayStation Now accounts into this new subscription service that's going to rival Game Pass. But now what we're finding is Xbox now owns a shitload of the most popular third-party IPs that would be on this PlayStation Game Pass, right?
Yeah.
So why now? I think that's a big reason why.
Mm-hmm.
Competition, and honestly, very smart.
Yeah.
Another thing, people are not really considering this, but I think it's a very big deal. This is pointed out by Jeff Keighley, actually. King is huge.
Yeah.
In the mobile market, and Xbox has barely dipped their toes into this market. And I don't know if it necessarily indicates why they did it now, but it's certainly, an indication that they wanted to get into this business of the mobile market of games. There's a lot of money to be made in mobile, and especially when you're fucking King,
right,
who does Candy Crush. So I think that plays a huge part in it as well.
Yeah. The other kind of angle I wanted to approach with this is, will the deal actually go through? Right? Because basically the parties have just kind of engaged into an agreement, right? This is still going to have to be, critiqued by lawmakers in the United States. And there's always the possibility, which we talked about too with that Bethesda deal, is like, will they allow it to go through for potential monopolization, issues, or even, what's the other word? Looking for, like, antitrust issues, right? Will they actually allow it to pass? I think, first of all, yes. I don't think U.S. lawmakers are smart enough to understand the magnitude of this. And if they allow things like the Disney mergers and acquisitions to move forward, then why would they not let this? Because that is the scale this is on, too. I want to be clear. Like, this is a mass consolidation like that. So I think it might be held up by, kind of litigation type things in that sense, but I don't think it's not going to go through. I think it's just a matter of when, and, it might be a year or so, who knows, but I think it's just a matter of when. So what are your thoughts on that?
I think that they wouldn't have made it public if that wasn't the case, if they didn't think they were going to get it, it was going to go through. I think we've seen not only Phil Spencer, Xbox themselves, Larry Herb, everyone has kind of talked about this. If this was just rumbling, I would say, yeah, maybe it won't go through. But I think that this is the kind of thing they would clear with their lawyers and clear with the appropriate parties,
Sure, absolutely. A couple more angles I want to approach this from. Well, also I see chat here. Maybe we should get caught up on chat for a second.
Yeah.
Christian says he'd love to see a soft reboot of the Guitar Hero franchise. Yep. If Sony gets acquired by Apple, I'm out, selling my shit and getting an Xbox fridge. Ant says definitely a Game Pass move. Absolutely. And if that's truly the reason, it's genius. Call of Duty being Game Pass first day a deal would be nuts. I agree.
Also, hold on. We haven't even talked about the Blizzard aspect. I know you mentioned a couple of the Blizzard properties, but
yeah,
this is huge for Xbox on PC, which they just rebranded Game Pass for PC.
Yeah.
All of the Blizzard games are going to be, available through Game Pass now.
Yeah.
You'd think. So World of Warcraft, all these games, Overwatch, everything will be available on Game Pass. That is fucking huge for PC.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Ant also says Crash and Spyro now being owned by Xbox is some hilarious irony. Yeah. Yeah. Overwatch 2 might finally come out, Christian says. Yeah. So, I mean, there's so many IPs, like massive stuff from this. But
a lot of IPs that haven't had bangers in a while, actually.
Yeah, for sure. I think the last kind of point I want to make with this is that I don't like this deal. I really don't. You and I have talked a lot about, and I think we share probably similar opinions in the sense of like mass consolidation of like creative intellectual property is not a good thing. I think there's obviously some benefits there, and I hope that is the ultimate outcomes that like those workers, you know, have a better environment to work at with, you know, Microsoft oversight and things like that. But this mass consolidation of major publishers now, I mean, this is fucking huge. I don't like it. I don't want it to just be Xbox versus Sony. Like, I don't want one company to own so much power the same way I didn't like the Disney acquisition. It is concerning. And while it might not be a monopoly, while it might not be, you know, against any antitrust laws, I have a problem with it. And whether or not it's good for me, it doesn't really matter. I play on every console, so I don't, or in every system NPC. I don't really care from that perspective. And I'm not saying this either because I like PlayStation. I'm saying it because, like, as a human being, like, this is hell world shit. Like, straight up, this is not good. So I'm not going to sit here and applaud us perpetually kind of approaching a Blade Runner universe. Even outside of this with a million other things, I don't like it. It doesn't sit well with me. I disagree with it. And as much as I like Phil Spencer and Xbox and Game Pass, no.
See, I'm more on the fence. I see what you're saying 100%. I agree. But I also see it as, you know, this is a great thing for consumers. This is a great thing for gamers. This is very much like when, you know, Disney bought Fox, and now all these, we were excited because all these characters can now appear in these other films and stuff. Like, it's great for consumers in that regard. I do see what you're saying, but another big thing is that they're literally saving Blizzard, which is huge to me because Activision was literally just letting it die and killing it. And this is, you know, hopefully a very good thing for Blizzard. Make Blizzard great again, dude. It's finally going to happen. And listen, I know you're not for it, but we have to discuss and speculate, what is PlayStation going to do?
Yeah, well, that's a great segue into just another part of this that we want to look at. Bobby behind us, dude. What a little fucking cunt schmuck he is. Fuckface loser piece of shit. So going off of this, and this will answer Ant's question too in the chat. Gary Whitta, who wrote Star Wars Rogue One and of course works for Kinda Shitty now, Kinda Funny, I'm sorry, tweeted this out. If you thought Xbox Activision was the biggest gaming news story of the day week, just you wait. And then infamous Nintendo leaker, Hot Girl Video 69, said, sounds like the rest of the week may be interesting for video game news too. So Brett, do you think, as Ant suggests, maybe that there's going to be another major acquisition this year, maybe from Sony, from PlayStation? Do they need to make another acquisition? Do they need to, you know, do something to compete here with Xbox?
Yeah, I think they do. I think that we are now in a war. I think it is going to be Game Pass versus whatever PlayStation's offering is. Game Pass has been the best deal in gaming for years at this point. And I think at this point, the only thing that we can do, or that Sony can do, the only thing Sony can really do here is try to like snatch up as many IPs as they can as exclusives for, you know, their streaming service. So I don't know if they'll be able to reach a deal with, like, say, Square Enix. I don't know if that'll happen. I don't know if they can reach a deal with like an Ubisoft or an EA. But I'll tell you what, if they do acquire EA, I just ask that they improve EA help and make it better so that I can get my Apex account back. Thanks.
Well, first of all, how about this? Yeah, you cannot see that. Never mind.
Mabga?
Yeah. Make Activision Blizzard great again, as Christian said. But it's
and for the record, we are not supporters of the man who invented the hat that has this on here.
No, not at all.
Purely satirical.
So that key's out, so we're not going to leave that up there. But I'm of two minds of this. And we have talked about this point before. Does PlayStation actually need to compete with Xbox Game Pass? Do they actually have to do that? I still stand by the fact that I don't think they do. I really, truly don't think they have to. In the sense that they're still going to make great games. But then I think about, too, as I say that, is like, well, their games are expensive. They take a long time to make. They don't come out every year. And the PS Plus, you know, like offering is not as good as Game Pass, right?
Two things. Number one, they just took a big hit in what they can actually get on PlayStation Plus as well.
True.
And number two, I don't remember what I was going to say, but it probably had something to do with the fact that PlayStation now sucks ass.
Well, it does, but I mean PlayStation Plus. I'm talking about strictly PlayStation Plus. I still think, you know, the PlayStation Plus collection is kind of an untapped thing for them. I think they could do more with that. So I don't know if they have to create a direct competitor, but I do think they have to do something to build out their supplemental offerings. And I don't know what that is. I don't have a good answer for that. But what I can tell you is that they don't have the cash on hand to have some sort of major acquisition like this. That's just not feasible. So them buying 2K, buying what was it called, Bandai Namco, I don't know. Especially since 2K did Zynga just buy 2K or whatever happened there? I forget what happened there. But that might be
Take-Two bought Zynga.
Right. That might be off the table too. I don't think they have enough money to facilitate something like that. So I don't know if I have a good answer. I don't think anything that PlayStation does will be as nearly as monumental as this. It's just not possible. But they will do something, and it might be in the form of them announcing their Game Pass competitor and, you know, one or two other maybe slightly smaller acquisitions, high quality acquisitions though, with it. So,
you know, we need that a recreation or a new version of that clip where they were like, how to share video games with your friends on PlayStation 4, and he just hands him the game. Remember that? We need a version of that where it's like how to play games with PlayStation 5, and it is like just so simple. And then they'll be like, you know, it'll be like Bandai Namco. It'll like have all the acquisitions they made, and it'll just be like a Rolodex of different companies that PlayStation bought. That's what we need.
Okay. Right. Before we kind of wrap up with this topic, Brett, I want to touch on Yuki's comment in the chat here. Yuki says, my camel is bigger than your camel at its finest, but now with video game companies. And that is what I'm worried about. I don't want to engage with companies that are involved in a pissing match. I am not invested in a console war. Maybe that just comes with age, even though we prefer PlayStation. But you and I at this point are not like, yeah, suck it, Sony, or yeah, fuck you, Xbox. Like, I'm not.
When you have it all, who cares?
Yeah, I'm not there anymore. I just want to play games and be left alone. I don't want us to see where we are on this like streaming war, game streaming war between them, and they keep trying to one up each other by all these huge acquisitions, and then it's like, oh, you can pick from Xbox's plate, or you can pick from PlayStation's plate, and then maybe too you have little baby Nintendo over there in the corner for the kids. I don't want that. That is a bad future to me, and I'm worried that we could get there, and I just hope that that's not where we arrive at ultimately. So
I'm with you.
Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to Haptic Intel. Did you do it? Subscribe right now.